Hey, good morning. I was sitting here this morning. This is January 14, 2025, and I was scrolling through TikTok earlier, and I came upon a TikTok 15-second one that a guy named Howard Bove put out. He was in his car, and he was getting ready to go to work at Costco at the age of 70, part time, and his quick 15-minute TikTok talked about how he remembered when he was 20 and seeing old guys going into work, and thought about them and why they were having to work at age 70. And it's kind of a sad video, and I'll post a link to it here for you to see it. And I thought a long time about it. How do you reply to somebody like that? You could tell he's clearly, probably worked all his life, 70 years old. That means he's probably worked 55, 60 years, and you could tell he's just depressed and just worn out. And, I read through a lot of the comments people made on it. And, a lot of them were younger people in their 20s saying, I think one person said, watching this as a 20-year-old. And then somebody said, same thing, and it's like they're younger people watching and wondering, well, how did he end? I don't want to end up like that, is what they were kind of saying. And other people just kind of asking some questions. And I jumped in and just, said, hey, I can empathize with you. Nobody wants to be working at 70, I don't think. And, I asked him, did you, just curious, did you take your Social Security, wait till 70 to take it or not? I suspect he took it a lot earlier. But, it made me start thinking a lot about, for people that are retired, if you could give, one piece of advice, just one thing to somebody in their, younger, what would it really be? And, I think it depends on obviously your life experience, and how it played out for you. Some people are really lucky. Their health's great. They got a great job. They were able to save. Other people, circumstances and events may have, threw some real curveballs at them. And I wonder, with this gentleman on TikTok, if that was his situation. But, regardless, I think about what's the one piece of advice you'd give to somebody in their 20s as that string on TikTok. These 20-year-olds were replying, or 20-somethings were replying to this guy on his video. And, I wonder, what would you tell someone? What's the one thing you'd tell somebody in, say, their 20s that would be your piece of advice to give them? For me, I instantly think about whatever you do, throw money into a 401k. I don't care how little it is. Just start investing and investing now because of all the compounding interest thing. But then I think about too, that's what I did. And I missed out a lot, when I was growing up, or as I got into parenthood and, prioritizing work over, or career over family, of missing things, family events, because I was trying to climb the corporate ladder. So, there's a balance there. But, is it, enjoy life the best you can because you're only going around once in this world? Or is it, would you tell somebody, save, especially if you think about the future of Social Security being very, very iffy, I would call it. What would you tell somebody in their 20s? Just curious. Put your thoughts in the chat below. I'll put a link to the TikTok, to the gentleman that had the TikTok video that talks about this. Or it's him in the back of his car at 4:30 in the morning. I think he's at a Costco where he works part-time at age 70. And, I think about, I'll end it with this. I think about all the people that say, just retire early and get a job, find a part-time gig so you can retire now. And again, everybody's got their personal life experience and their situation that they find themselves in at 62. But it's a big decision to start taking Social Security and to quit your job and go part-time. You can always find something else. I get it. But if you got a decent job and you don't have any savings and you're 62, if you got nothing for retirement, and if you realistically, objectively look at it, you think, I'm going to have to work part-time forever at 70 and beyond. When in reality, if you kept working full-time and built up something, maybe even get a couple $100,000 or $250,000 into a retirement plan by the time you're 70 or 67 or whatever at some point, aren't you better off doing that? Because this poor guy, I'm looking at him, I don't think he sees any end in sight. He's going to be working at Costco part-time until his health won't allow it. It's kind of the vibe he gives off. And that's some of the vibe some people I won't mention on YouTube, they give off that same vibe. It's like, not that vibe, but they've made decisions in their life to just bail and stop, and because they're so tired of working. And I get that completely, right? You don't want to. I've been working since I've been 15, and I'm 50, I'm gonna be 59 here now. I'm tired. I want to quit working, but I don't want to end up at age 70 and beyond working a prison job. I do not want to do that. And I think a lot about that. So, kind of related to the subject, but just curious, what's the advice you would give to somebody in their 20s right now to avoid at age 70 getting up at 4:30 in the morning and having to go to a job at Costco with no end in sight? What's the advice you'd give them? Put it in the comments below. Thanks.